I was married to my ex for 7 years until we divorced and went our separate ways 4 years ago.
After the divorce, she kept my surname.
I didn't necessarily like it because it felt like she was still attaching herself to my family, but I could understand the practical reasons enough not to let it bother me. She recently gave birth to a baby and posted a picture of said child and revealed its name. A friend sent it to me commenting about the surname and asking if I knocked her up. Following that, 4 more people directly contacted me, either congratulating me or asking for confirmation whether it's my child or not, and my mother says she's been catching whispers about it too at church. I bumped into her and her sister in town and obviously congratulated her, then asked about the kid's name. She said the name. I asked about the surname and she confirmed that the child's legal surname is, obviously, XYZ, mine, and asked if there was a problem. Now that pissed me off. My surname is very unique, especially in the area, since my family is not originally from here, so when people hear the surname they naturally think of my family and assume that this is my kid, and it effing isn't. Worse, the father is apparently in the picture, so I don't know what the fork is going on there. I straight up said that it was effing weird that she's giving her newborn the surname of the man she's divorced from, who isn't in any way linked to the kid and sounds almost obsessive. She said she gave her daughter her surname as the mother and not mine. Am I the idiot? Edit. I have no children with her. She has one other child apart from this one who has her previous. Saw this being asked in the comments, so there's that answer. Also, her surname doesn't impact her professionally. I do not know why the father's surname wasn't used. Replies. Nah, I know I'm going to get downvoted, but it is effing weird. And, weirdly, some people here think you were wrong for stating your opinion when asked. Depending on your local culture and even personality, really depends if the F-bomb was unnecessarily rude, but I'm going to say it's not. I can see her argument that it's her last name now too. But that's mildly weird as well. It would have been an ideal time for her to get around to changing her last name also. You are the idiot. My married name is better than my maiden name, so if we divorced I would keep it for that reason alone. Not to mention changing it would be an enormous pain. And it wouldn't make sense because my childhood last name is literally not who I am after all these years. If I had a kid post-divorce, and wasn't remarried with a new name, kid would get my name. The end. Not the idiot. It is weird. 1. If people are asking you about that, they are certainly question her too. 2. How the actual father of the child do not feel bothered that his child has his wife, ex-husband's name. I could understand she keeping your name because of work/documentation stuff. But giving your name to the kid? At the end of the day it's not her family name. The grandparents from the mother side don't have that name. In her shoes, as much I would want the kid to have my name, I would never give my ex's. Am I the idiot for telling my ex his lack of money is not my issue? I, 36 female, have a daughter Sadie, 12, with my ex-husband John, 39. We got divorced 5 years ago and I have primary custody while he sees her 2 weekends a month. Last year, he got married to Amanda, who has sole custody of her kids, 10 and 8F, from a previous marriage. Amanda is a stay-at-home mom, not for any health reasons or so on, she just doesn't want to work, while John works at a 9 to 5. He makes good money to support them, but not enough to live in luxury. I have a much higher paying job. Since it's just me and Sadie, I make sure she has the best possible life. She goes to a private school, set her up a college fund, and she has much better things than most kids: phone, clothes, etc. I still manage to raise her to be humble and not take things for granted, and she's one of the hardest working people I know, always making sure to get good grades and keep her room tidy. Well, the last few times she came back after a weekend at John's, I noticed that the clothes she was bringing back in her duffel are not her size and much cheaper and poorer quality than what I usually buy for her. I asked her why that is and she told me that while she's at her dad's, Amanda takes away her nice clothes and gives them to her kids while Sadie gets the clothes they buy from Target. I asked her if she wanted them back, but she said she didn't mind sharing since all her favorite clothes were kept here. The problem came when I went to pick her up last weekend. I had a business meeting and couldn't drive her over, so Amanda offered to just pick Sadie up from school, which hadn't happened before. When I got there on Sunday, John and Amanda asked me to sit down with them, and when Sadie came to hug me, Amanda sent her to her room quite harshly, saying her punishment wasn't over yet. I was confused because Sadie very rarely misbehaves. They sat me down in the kitchen and said that it was unfair for Sadie to be going to a private school while her kids go to a public one, so they decided that Sadie would be pulled out of private school and put in the same school as the girls. They also said I should keep up Sadie's punishment because when they told her she blew up at them, told them it wasn't fair, and yelled that Amanda and her kids weren't even her real family, that all they did was steal. I told them in no uncertain terms to fork off. I would not be pulling my child out of a school she likes, away from her friends, because they can't afford it. I told them they could easily make as much money as me if Amanda started working in her field because she has the qualifications and the job market is very good. I told them their money problems are not my issue, and if Sadie's items get stolen again or they try to pull her out of school, I'll be taking this to court. They've been blowing up my phone ever since, calling me a selfish and after telling the story to a friend, he told me I was rubbing my success in their face, but I still don't feel like I did anything wrong. Still, am I the idiot? Replies. Not the idiot, and I would make the school aware that any decisions about your daughter need to go through you so he doesn't just do it behind your back. Op replies.
That was the first thing I did after dropping Sadie off at school.
My kid's not losing a good opportunity because of them. Second reply. Her father is weak and all around pretty terrible for trying to take away these opportunities from your daughter. I say yours because he is hardly acting like she is his at the moment. I'd be having a good talk with your daughter about any other toxic ways she is being treated at their house. Get the courts involved regardless for stealing and trying to alienate your daughter. Who has educational custodianship? Both of you? Just you? If he isn't the custodial parent, he can't make decisions behind your back. Op says. I do. I think it's why they came to me in the first place, otherwise they probably would have gone behind my back. The only thing they had was permission to pick her up at the school and my ex was her second emergency contact, but I took away all of that and put my mom in instead. Everyone at the school knows not to let them get Sadie. It's the one thing I did before my brain kicked in and I thought, maybe I should contact my lawyer before I do anything else to this doesn't bite me in the ass. A third reply. Hi, I think as a loving mother, you know the answer deep down in your heart. Not the idiot. And well done for protecting your daughter. Keep this mama bear mood switched on. Out of all adults involved, you're the only one fighting your kid's corner. Your daughter really needs your support in this situation. The only thing that I would have done differently, is I'd have taken them to court already for stolen clothes. You let it go, and now it keeps escalating because the real motive here is intense jealousy combined with laziness and questionable morality. To steal clothes instead of working? That makes me want to vomit. These people are adults and won't change, so reasoning with them is not a viable option. I would involve Child Protection Service, to start with, because stealing clothes and pulling your daughter out of school against her will and without consulting her mother, is abuse. Please report it or your child will get more of the same. Also, I'm not sure if your daughter benefits from seeing her father. Even during the short time they're together, he manages to abuse her. It's another thing to discuss with child protection. I would do it without warning and any previous talks with her dad or Amanda, so that they wouldn't be able to prepare on how to dodge it. What you're describing is serious, and it's time to take an action. Good luck and please take a good care of yourself. Your lovely daughter needs your help right now. Not the idiot. Start court proceedings now. Send her to dad's with clothes from Target. Everything through text and email. If you live in Canada, at 12 your daughter can refuse to go on her own accord, regardless of court order. Get your daughter to a therapist to talk this out. Her stepmother is abusing her emotionally and psychologically, your ex is allowing it to happen. What is up with these stepmoms? They choose to make their children with who they did. Sorry if that means your kids don't get a high-style life, like your new stepkids have. Because both stepkids' parents are working, and/or one of the two parents wants their kids to have a good education, or can afford to dress them a little better. You could do that too, stepmom. Sadie is an only child, so it's not surprising that her clothes are better. Some moms can afford that, or are interested enough in their children to want that for them. Some bio parents want their kids to have a VG education and will work to those means. For others, being able to do fun extracurriculars or sports is the thing. But to downgrade your stepchild out of jealousy, either on your kid's behalf, or because of an ex-wife, is just lowly. Face that. It's lowly and you look cheap and petty. Sure that the school is aware that no one else has permission to pick up the child or enter school grounds for reasons concerning your child. Edit. I contacted my lawyer and we're starting the process of obtaining full custody. I'm taking Sadie to a therapist so I can get permission to keep her with me at least until the courts make their decision. Her next visit isn't for another couple of weeks, so assuming that everything goes according to plan, she shouldn't have to go back there unless she wants to.